Hello, friends. All right. So today I want to talk about making childhood magical because last week was Valentine's Day and I was a little astounded, I got to be honest, seeing what parents are doing for Valentine's Day and what schools are doing for Valentine's Day, and it's like full on goodie bags now instead of the used to be like a crappy little card that you got 24 in a pack. There were always 26 kids in class, right? But it's gone crazy, and I'm not judging. I'm not, no, I'm kind of judging. I'm not judging if you love to do it, okay? And I'm not one of these like, oh, it's a made up holiday. It is a made up holiday, but kind of they all are. And any opportunity to show love is awesome, right? I don't think that's a horrible thing. But Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day have gotten fucking out of control. Those were never holidays. Like maybe your mom would make heart-shaped pancakes, maybe you'd wear red, but that was like it. When I was a kid, and then even when Pascal was a kid, it was not a thing. But now there's like everybody's got to make a giant box to hold their cards. And I don't know. Here's the thing, guys, that adds mental load, that adds finances, right? And one of the things that's so funny is whenever I post about slowing down on Instagram, people will come at me about late stage capitalism, late stage capitalism, late stage capitalism. I have to work. I have to work. You working is not late stage capitalism. Everybody's worked. That's not late stage capitalism. What is being convinced by corporations that you are not enough and that you need things that you do not need. And we know this. Our landfills are stuffed with items like Valentine's Day decorations, right? These like one-off things. Like if you redo your whole house for Valentine's Day, for St. Patrick's Day, I mean, obviously if you just reuse the same decorations, that's cool. But this whole idea, I saw this at Christmas, people were doing a Ralph Lauren Christmas and people were talking about themes, like their house is a theme. And they do a new theme every year, which means these things are disposable. Like, what are we doing? But more than anything, the Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day are those 2 days. Like we don't have to go overboard. You can acknowledge them without them being a big deal. Now I've heard St. Patrick's Day is nothing in Ireland, and St. Valentine's Day was marking a massacre, like a bloody massacre. So we really steered far from from the original event. But what I really want to talk about is where are we fucking ourselves? Because I have never seen a population more than moms, a demographic, I should say, right? Like moms that just keep screwing themselves. Like we make more work. And it's almost as if we think we can outwork or out fabulous or out spectacular. I don't know, like our mom guilt. Is that what it is? I want you guys to like really take a minute and ask yourselves, what is this obsession with making childhood magical? Oh, it's got to be magical. It's got to be magical. And this is on the tail end of the Disney episode too, right? Like Disney does not inherently make a childhood magical. It doesn't. And neither do these over the top things. And so why are we doing them? And I've come to a couple of conclusions. I think one is peer pressure. Like if the school is doing it, right, don't we just have to take part? Otherwise our kids will be left out. So I think that is fair enough. But I will say if you join the PTA or PTO, whatever you guys call it, you can make changes in your own little system. So I was on the PTA only for kindergarten and half of first grade, and then I pulled Pascal to homeschool. But I was on the PTA and I was very, very vocal about certain things. I got them to pull cupcakes for birthday parties because every day was full of sugar. And I was like, my kid is not here to get hopped up. He was pooping bright blue one day. And I was like, how did your poop get bright blue? And he's like, oh, so-and-so's cupcakes, for his birthday. And they were like the blue dye. And okay, birthdays are wonderful. I love birthdays, celebrate birthdays, but do we have to be bringing in cupcakes? I just didn't like the amount of sugar that was in school. It was crazy. So I stopped that. I petitioned, I got everybody to vote, and we voted them out. You can do that. You can make changes in your own school. You have to be vocal and you got to get people on board, and maybe people will vote against you and then it sucks, but you can do that. I just wanted to let you know that. But I think things like this we do because we're guilty. And I know from my client work, I know from emails, I know from DMs, working moms who have to work outside the home, particularly if it's a job that consumes a lot of energy and time, right? Up the corporate ladder, the higher up you are, the more intense the job is usually, and get home late and they feel guilty. They feel guilty, so they go overboard. They go overboard with activities, they go overboard with stuff. And I give this warning usually at the beginning of summer, and I usually give this warning at the beginning of Christmas, because that's when we tend to go overboard. Like, okay, it's not magical enough. It's not magical enough. We've got to do more. I have to remind you guys, your kids want one thing and one thing only above everything else, which is you being present and giving them some focus and attention. That is literally what your kids want the most. You being regulated so they can borrow your nervous system, and you being present, connecting with them. That trumps all activities. Now, the next thing they want is free play. That's literally what kids want and need. The Atlantic did a study on this where kids want free play with their friends above everything else. So if you think your kid is addicted to video games or anything like that, that's on you, because they want to be outside with their friends. So you have to create something else. Kids want in-person time with their friends. Then the next thing they want is perhaps sports with their friends. And then the last thing they want is digital connection. So that the kids are telling us that's what they want. Yeah. So it's up to us to create that situation. It's also up to us to create a situation in which we are present and regulated and able to connect with them and not worried about all these things making childhood magical. Let's go over why childhood is magical. Number one, first and foremost, you do not pay bills. You do not have disposable income, so you do not have to worry about paying bills. Everything is provided for you. That is magical. It is magical that somebody bathes you and washes your hair. It is magical that somebody reads to you. It is magical that somebody rubs your back and your belly and your feet if you ask them. It is magical that somebody cuddles with you when you need it. It is magical when somebody can co-regulate through a tantrum and lend you their nervous system. It is magical when you are sharing moments in the kitchen and sharing moments with household chores, and your parents are present and listening to you and splitting up the division of labor, showing you lovingly how to do chores. This is amazing. This is magical. Yeah, having somebody validate your feelings and hold boundaries, magical. But we have been convinced that magic comes from the outside. We have been convinced that magic is, again, spectacular, fabulous, Disney, all these things, right? Those do not make a childhood magical. Those are sparkle. Yeah. Can they be fun? Absolutely. But we are missing, and you guys are going to be so sick of hearing this from me, but I am convinced this is the antidote to everything. Simplify your lives so you can find the magical in the mundane. When you can do that, then your child's life will be magical. Yes, your nervous system is running the show. So if you are scattered, if you are overwhelmed, if you are burnt out, your kid is going to react to that. And that is going to make mothering not magical. Yeah, not magical. Oh, I just saw a quote the other day and I freaking love this. Lean into the hard parts of mothering, because that will make mothering easier. When we just skirt around it and just can't wait for these bigger moments, we don't have the magic. Okay. So I'm not kidding when I say this is everything. And I know a lot of you have responded, sent me messages, and you're like, oh my God, I changed everything. And I love these messages. If you have found your vibe and you have found magical moments, give me them. Please comment on Spotify. Just send a DM, send an email, hit me up on Instagram. I would love to hear about it, because I'm hearing from a lot of moms and it is changing everything. So I'm going to keep banging this drum till it's in everybody's head. But this is, think of what made your childhood magical. And I know a lot of people are like pulling now. I want my kids to have a 90s summer. I want my kids to have a 90s childhood, and trying to recreate that. Clearly, we don't have the systems in place that we had in the 90s. Or maybe we have too many systems in place. We had nothing, right? Or, for me, it was the 70s. For you, it might have been the 80s. But what was the magic? The magic was getting on your bike. The magic was kids knocking on your door. Hey, can Jamie come out and play today? Yeah. The magic was meeting with your friends, building a fort, playing with the dollhouse, whatever you did, whatever we did, but it was going to other people's houses, playing with other kids. That was fun. That was the magic. Riding your bike for the first time, riding your bike down the street, a little out of your mom's vision. Whoa, that was independence. That is magical. Being able to make your own food. Oh my God, I remember that. I remember my mom giving me the responsibility of turning on the stove and cooking my own food. These are the things that make a kid feel capable, resilient, and magical. Not like what do I want to say? It's almost like false gods. I feel like it's like, right. And when I say God, I mean a true inner nature of a true well-being. But we have these other false things, these false promises that if I just have the right balloon sculpture and a dozen roses. I saw kids with a dozen roses. Like, whoa. I think you want to always tell your kid you love them, and a little something special on Valentine's Day for sure. But honestly, a dozen roses for a 6-year-old, over the top. But then also they start expecting spectacular. Their dopamine gets hit. So now it's like, okay, how are we going to top this? You have to keep topping it. That's how we got to $1,000 birthday parties. How can I top last year? And just bring it back. I've talked about Pascal's old school birthday parties and how much people loved them. The kids loved them. So scale back to a point where you can be that calm, connected, regulated parent. That's what we're looking for, because I feel like in this effort that I've been doing recently to find where the drains are, where the leaks from motherhood that's making it so crazy, I feel like so much of it is moms being exhausted, so not having it in them, not having the capacity, not having the wherewithal, the strength to be able to show up for their kids at 6 o'clock after they've worked all day, right? And the kid is whining and not at their best at this point in time. And so that's where boundaries get skewed. That's where screen time comes in, right? So where can we fix this for you? And I'm telling you right now, these self-imposed things like an over-the-top Valentine's Day, an over-the-top St. Patrick's Day, people be setting up leprechaun traps, gold glitter in their house. I'm like, what the hell are we doing? Like, it's just more work. Now, again, if you are a Pinterest mom, and I say that with no shade, I am not one, but if this is your joy, you have a craft cupboard, you do all of this effortlessly, it makes you more connected, your kids are helping and you love it. Oh my God, rock on. I am not here to fix something that's not broke, because I know moms like that. That is not me. This would have been extremely taxing on me and I would not have loved it. And I think also we have to, again, everybody's bitching and moaning about the economy. Yes, groceries are expensive. So really we can afford balloons and dozens of roses and candy for every goodie bags for every kid in the class. We're doing it to ourselves. Where can we see where we are fucking our own selves and stop, you guys? All right, I beat that dead horse. Magical childhood. Make it magical every day. Find your vibe. I don't know what your vibe is, but I'll tell you what. Yesterday I was just kind of caught in a little slump, and I have recognized in myself that when I am avoiding something, when I am procrastinating something, that is when I get pulled into the social media rabbit hole, right? Because it's easy and it feels like I'm working and it feels like I'm doing something. Look, I'm getting ideas. Look, I'm learning something. All lies. All lies. Yes. So I could feel it yesterday. And Pascal is actually on the West Coast snowboarding. So I get a lot done. Like as much as I'm a goofball in front of Pascal, I have a hard time making content in front of him. So when he's around, I feel like I'm just kind of skirting around, not being able to do what I want to do as far as creating content. And so I have this like free time and it's awesome. And I could not get myself like out of this like low grade funk. And I realized I hadn't worked out in the morning. My morning has to be like a morning routine. I have to take Maverick for a walk, eat, and work out. If I don't do it, I start to fall apart. Like the system just falls apart. So that's me. It doesn't have to be you. But there were too many big things that I was avoiding. And I got like a little trapped on social media. I was like, oh my God, what are you doing? So I did a workout, which immediately perked me up. And then I realized I I have more costumes, guys, from my circus days than I actually have like real clothes. And so one of my costume bins got a little ruined in my basement. Things got mildewy and it was very sad. I had to throw out a lot of costumes, but I have this purple velvet cat suit that is, it was handmade for me in 1994. I look hot and it's awesome. I love it. So I had saved it from the mildew just in time. I saved a couple, my unicorn onesie, a couple of things that I consider very important. And so I put it on for no reason because I was like, you know what? I just need to feel good right now. And then I put on some 1970s kind of disco and rhythm and blues or what is it? Like funk, right? Oh my God, instantly changed my vibe. I started dancing around the house. I was having a blast. I was picking up clothes. I did all my chores and then I started creating content and I saved the day with my vibe. So that is my vibe. Like costumes will always perk me up and just dancing around and definitely getting the workout in because I just needed to move my body. A body in motion stays in motion and not to be like overdoing. I was just wasting time and space on Instagram and I felt gross about it. So find your vibe. I don't know what your vibe is. Maybe your vibe is arts and crafts and things like Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day are your jam. And you sit with your kids and it's lovely connection time and you have super fun and it's not taxing again. That's awesome. But what is your personal vibe? And I feel like what has happened in the martyrdom of motherhood is that we lose our juice. We lose our vibe because we think everything's kid centric. We got to focus on the kid, the kids' activities, kids. And then you become background noise. You become this like woman hanging out in the corner who only says no, who's monitoring snacks, like, right? Sometimes that happens. That's part of the losing ourselves. So find yourself. What did you enjoy? Like, who are you out at the club? Bring her back into the kitchen, right? You could do that with a seltzer water, not not a vodka and tonic or whatever your poison was, right? So remember who you were. For me, always costumes and moving my body. I become a performer and I put on a spotlight and I love that. And I sing show tunes at the top of my lungs and that's who I am and that's my vibe. What is yours? And bring her back. And one of the great things about menopause that I have found is it stripped away everything. And now I can really feel like my spirit animal is my 4-year-old self. Oh boy. And when she wants to get dressed, it's super fun. So I'm letting her more and more like have free reign because I'm like, who cares anymore? Go to the grocery store in a costume. Nobody cares. We're going to hell in a handbasket anyway. Might as well go down having fun. So yeah, find your vibe and that will lead your house because you being happy and not overtaxed is you can think it's selfish. You can think it's crazy, but that's going to lead the climate of your house. It's going to elevate everybody and it's going to make all the yucky chores, all the everyday chores so much better. So yeah. All right. Sorry, that went in another direction besides just making making childhood magical. I will say this though, having a happy fucking mother makes childhood magical in and of itself. That's it. That's it. So how can you find your vibe? How can you find some magic? How can you find a little bit of who you were? And how can you ride that vibe? All right. That will be magical for your child. Okay. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, I did want to tell you guys about my March classes. So we're doing strength and mobility again because it was a hit. Love it. We're having so much fun in that. So if you didn't sign up for February, you can do so for March. And then I have Over It. I'm super excited. This is my mothering course. So this is if you're over it, just over being overstimulated, overwhelmed, and burned the fuck out. We are going to go through in a concise manner. Each week is going to be a different class. We're going to do how to be an authoritative presence in your house. That's the firm but kind leadership that we're all looking for. Not slip into authoritarian, not slip into permissive. We're going to go over boundaries, consequences versus punishments, and first time listening. The next is overstimulated. Where are your energy drains? Where are you tipping over into stimulation? We're going to look at digital life and scheduling and all those things. Then the next one is going to be overwhelmed. We're going to do nervous system and we're going to do nervous system reset. We're going to do nervous system things that you can do in the moment that help you get back to a regulated state. Remember, being regulated isn't being calm all the time. It's being able to shift in and out of dysregulation with ease. We'll be going over that. And then the last thing is mental load and that the 5 components to mental load and where in those 5 components we can ease up so that we're not feeling so taxed. And we can do this even if you have an unsupportive spouse who doesn't believe in mental load. I'm not going to call them a partner because they're not a partner if they're unsupportive, but we're going to go over that. It's going to be super fun. Live classes. You don't have to be there. You will get the replay. All right. As always, guys, put your phone down, rock on, have a beautiful day, and find your vibe.